Welcome back to VSG Tea.
with Sammi and Bre.
Cheers. All right, guys, we have a very special episode of VSG Tea today. We're so excited to have our good friend Jade in the building today. Jade
Woo-hoo!
is so special. I've been following her journey for quite some time now on Instagram. She's been documenting everything, and she is actually 1 month post-op. She got her surgery done in Mexicali about a month ago, and so today we're going to talk about surgery in Mexico. We're going to get to know her a little bit more. Something that's also amazing about Jade is we kind of share in common with her. She has her own talk show as well that's VSG centric, and it's called VS Girl Code. So we're so excited to have you. Thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. I've been following you ladies and you guys are so inspiring. I'm just happy to be in this moment with you ladies. Thank you.
Aw, thanks.
Thank you so much. Well, I want to get right into it. And I know that we have some viewer and some follower questions as well, but I kind of want to hear like your background and like what made you make the decision to get the surgery.
Absolutely. So I've been struggling with obesity like a lot of people since I was very young. I'd say about 8 or 10, between the ages of 8 and 10. I noticed that I was a big girl as I was getting into my preteens. And I've been dealing with obesity for quite some time. But in 2016, the same year I was about to get married, I was diagnosed with PCOS. And I'm sure a lot of your viewers have that understanding that PCOS is a struggle. They tell you that the best thing for you to do when you have PCOS is to lose weight. But what they don't tell you is that there is a symptom that is basically weight gain, and it makes it very difficult. And for those who don't know what PCOS is, it's polycystic ovary syndrome. And there's a variety of symptoms that come with it, side effects. And then you end up on birth control. So my struggle with my obesity and PCOS and trying every type of diet possible to lose the weight led me to getting gastric sleeve surgery because I noticed that other women that had PCOS were able to get the surgery and it helped them lose weight and it helped change their lives.
That's amazing. I also
That's
have
awesome.
PCOS, so I can definitely relate.
Mm.
It is a struggle. It's a huge struggle. And a lot of times our band-aids are the birth control, and that only helps with, XYZ.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
it's, the hormone replacement therapy, and it's just difficult. It's difficult to navigate, especially when you're younger. Do you mind if I ask you how old you are?
Absolutely. I'm 31. I just
Okay.
turned 31 in October. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so we're the same age, and yeah, especially when you're younger and you're doing hormone replacement therapy and you're on birth control, it messes with our systems. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be on on this crazy medication. Like, for example, I was on metformin for it, and I literally couldn't drive anywhere without having to like plan out like what bathrooms along the way I can go into, and it was really difficult. So there's just so many things attached to that alone. We could talk about that all day long. So when you were researching, wanting to do this surgery, how did you find your doctor and like how did that all come about?
So the doctor that I went to is in Mexicali, Mexico. It's about 2 to 2.5 hours from the San Diego border. The way that I found out about the doctor was through my best friend who had just gotten surgery through that same doctor. And since her surgery, she's lost like 80 pounds, and her surgery was in July. Yeah.
Well,
And I waited till she got out of surgery and told me that everything went fine. And then I contacted basically the person that organizes everything, that handles everything, like the secretary. And I was like, okay, I'm ready to put down a deposit. I want to do this. I need, I want more information. She gave me information. I looked through it. I was fine with it. Put down the deposit right then and there.
Wow.
And my friend told me that everything went well. So
mm-hmm.
I found it through my friend who had a successful surgery, and she found it through a friend that had a successful surgery. So word of mouth.
So you didn't even go through insurance at all?
No, I did it because I didn't have insurance at the time. I
Okay.
didn't have insurance then. My husband put me on his insurance now. Yay. But we didn't I didn't have that. I didn't have that opportunity at that moment. So
Hmm.
I went ahead and got the surgery in Mexico. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you mind if we ask you what your starting weight was and where you're at now?
My starting weight, I would say, when I started my pre-op diet was 280. Right now, I'm at 233. 233.
Girl, killing it.
Killing it.
So I've
Oh my
lost
gosh.
40, 47 pounds since November 1st.
Wow,
Dang,
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
that's commitment right there.
I'm
Mhm.
trying.
Especially, like I said, especially during the holidays, that's like, we were like, bring it. I'm here for it.
Yes, I was just like Muhammad Ali in that moment. I was just like, I'm not playing. I am not playing because so I started pre-op November 1st. They require 45 days of basically 30 days. Sorry, let me correct myself. 45 days to start your pre-op. You know, before start 45 days before surgery. So I started the 45th day before surgery. And then they require, as you get closer by the 3 day mark, when you're 3 days before surgery, to do liquids. I was like, no, I'm doing 14 days of liquids to get myself mentally prepared. So I did, instead of 3 days prior to surgery of liquids, I did the 14 days. So I did 2 weeks of liquid diet straight. And I was
Yikes.
just like diligent, diligent, diligent every day. And that's what helped me lose the 20 pounds before getting surgery and get me mentally prepared. Although, on the other end, once you come out of surgery, it's still challenging, as you ladies would know. It's still
Mhm.
very challenging. But yeah,
Absolutely. But it's so important to lose that weight because you're shrinking your liver and it's going to make the surgery easier. We can't stress that enough.
yes.
There's so many, and I'm so happy that we're talking about this too, because there is like a, I mean, not a, what am I trying to say? Like, not a, there's, I mean, there's people think different things about getting surgery in Mexico. People have different
Right.
opinions. They're either okay with it 100% or they're just like, no, I'm not messing with that 100%.
Yeah.
You know, like it's hard to find like the gray area. I actually am in the gray area because I do know people who've gone down to Mexico and gotten it done. They're huge influencers that, you know, they don't talk about a lot, but I know that they've gotten it done. They are living their best lives now. So,
Right.
and there's so many people in our community who have gone down to Mexico and gotten it done as well. So, is there something that you can kind of like speak on about that? Because I know that you had your word of mouth, but you know, just the fact that you were like, okay, let's go ahead and do the, you know, the pre-op liquid diet for 2 weeks. Like, are there some pieces of advice you can say, like, hey, this is a best practice with me, even if your, you know, clinic is saying like only do the three day, you know, pre-op liquid diet.
Yeah. So for me, why I did it the 2 weeks instead of the three, it's because I'm just one of those overachiever type of people. Like, tell me only do like this certain thing. I'm like, no, I can do this. But it was just me proving to myself, like, I can do this. But I also wanted to do it because I wanted to really get invested mentally into what this is going to be like, the possibility, of just this is what it's like to have the liquid diet, because the first few days of being on the liquid diet were just the most difficult. But then, although it's still challenging, it got a little bit easier because I was just getting into the momentum, like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this. So my advice would be, get mentally prepared. Get really mentally prepared, because yes, the ultimate goal is to be in shape, or just, lose the weight, get to the physique that you want to get to. But there's a good chunk of it that is mental preparedness. So
Yep.
my biggest advice is, do what you have to do to get mentally prepared, be it prayer, journal, talk to other people, connect, do your research extensively. Although I heard about him from word of mouth, I still went to their Instagram, and I looked through the comments, and I looked at who was commenting and going to the pages of the people that had surgery. So just do your research, get mentally prepared, and connect with other people if possible. That's my advice.
That's awesome.
Love it.
It's exactly what Bre preaches all the time too. I
Mhm.
wish I would have done what you guys did. I really wish I would have.
Yeah, it like I am shooketh over some of like I mean somebody that's such an OG like Sammy, who, you know, she didn't have this and she was just kind of going into like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna have like funerals and like just like let's go and let's do this. And then when she had it done, it like she didn't, there was nothing that prepared her basically, where she was just like, you know, fending for herself. And then
Yeah.
obviously she had like the worst case scenario happen with Berry after that.
Right.
So It's pretty wild, but I do think that you are responsible. You're so responsible for you are your number one advocate when it comes to health, and you have to do your research in that sense. And I think that also at the time too, when Sammy got hers done, the VSG and the bariatric community was not on and popping the way it is right now. There's no
Right.
way,
No.
you know. And we talked to OG VSGers too, who say that it was really just last year, the beginning of last year, where things started getting on and popping on Instagram. And so now this has become a huge resource for so many of us. And the OGers had nothing like this. They were the trailblazers. We're like, okay, I just want to go through life.
That's so true. I actually
Yeah.
saw a commercial last night for gastric sleep, and I was like,
Mhm.
what? Those are our people.
I know. Oh my gosh. I did too.
You saw it too?
No,
Yeah,
but I was thinking like it's our tribe, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen it, but I want to.
I've seen it too. They're targeting us.
I know.
Do
I was
you
like,
have
how did you
stuff?
know?
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, I have Hulu Live.
We'll never
It was
know.
on like CBS last night on the news.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Like it was a commercial for, a break. But I was like, excuse me, what?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
direct people to us. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say it's probably because they see that now the community is on and popping on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, probably.
100%.
So I
100%.
have a question for just myself personally. I didn't get this asked me, but was your husband supportive of you having the surgery?
Yes. Yes,
That's
he
awesome.
was. Yes, I am so blessed and so thankful. He was supportive. His only concern was like, we are going to another country, make sure you do your research. And him knowing me, he knows that I will.
Yeah.
And he was just like, if you are 100% with it, then I'm 100% with it. And I'm just there to back you up. And he was just supportive the whole way through and helping me out, being there for me. He was just 100% supportive. And I'm just grateful. Yeah.
Aw, I love
No,
that.
I love that. It's so important to have a support system. It really is.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And I know a couple of our girlfriends who we absolutely love, like they are, single girls, they're living on their own and they're just kind of doing this on their own in the
Mhm.
middle of a pandemic, in the middle of quarantine. And like, my heart breaks, but they're just so strong. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be that strong because there's just no way. There's no
Right.
way.
Yeah, I commend them. That's tough.
Mhm. It
That's
is.
tough. Yeah.
It really, really is. Yeah. And I always say too, because and I'm sure you get this too, Jade, but like you'll get the last minute DMs, like I'm going in for surgery tomorrow. I have this amount of questions for you. And like basically talking to you like you're their doctor, right? And so I always, I try to answer those questions as best as I can, but when we're not prepared, like sometimes we're going in and asking these questions like a little bit like too late. Like we need to have our research done before we're about to go under,
Yeah.
the next morning. But yeah, some of these questions are things that are like, okay, hey, should I have somebody watching? Will I be okay with somebody watching me for a day? And I'm like, you don't have anybody lined up for the next week. What's going on? Like you're going into surgery tomorrow. You get to have somebody for at least a week. I always say that too. And even 2 weeks after, I was very lightheaded in my showers. And I had to have John in the same room whenever I showered because I was like, just in case I might pass out.
I know.
Yeah, I agree with that because I when it came to cleaning my incisions, like I'm capable of handling certain things like are gross or just and certain situations, but just cleaning my incisions, just looking at it for so long and just cleaning it and then trying to put the bandage on and all of that. By the time I'm about to put the bandage on, I'm like, I need to lay down because I get so lightheaded. You just never know. But that was something I wasn't aware of that could happen. Like everyone is different, their journey is different. And for me, I used to get lightheaded when cleaning my incision. So my husband would have to, help me with it.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's even more than that. It's like just getting up off of the couch. You guys know that feeling where you're like, I don't want to move anything. And it's like it's like the tummy tuck feeling too, which Sammy, all about, where you're just
Yes.
like, get me up. And then,
It's, lift me, please.
yeah.
I don't want to move any muscles.
Exactly. Like I honestly didn't even lay on my belly until just a few weeks ago when Jackie and I were working out. She's like, are you okay with laying on your belly? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to go back to this when I do, but I'll do it.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Really getting sidetracked here. Talking about,
Per
talking
use.
per use, but support is like obviously very like a very important thing with this.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm, mhm.
Agreed.
We had some questions from some of our followers.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a question from one of our followers, and they wanted to know what was your first 48 hours of post-op like? And I think it's gonna be super unique coming from someone that's 4.5 months post-op, that's 1 month post-op, and then we got 2 years over here with the OG post-op. So I can go ahead and start us off. Basically, the first 48 hours for me was I was sleeping for a good 28 hours, and I was scaring my entire family, including Sammy and all my friends, because I was pieced out.
Dead to the world.
Yeah, I was. And I didn't even wake up until I think like the next day. I did that night. Like I was on and off and like super groggy, and I did bring my stand for my iPhone so that I could FaceTime, and I was falling asleep on FaceTime. So my first day I was like, dead to the world basically. And then the next day, I was very determined to get home since it was, COVID, and I had to be alone. And I was just like, let me go and recover with my dog and John. So I took it easy with like the sips. I started sipping on, water the next day around 9:30 a.m. Took it easy with the sips. I got my, straight out of surgery picture, which was really important. And I was released around 2. And then I went home and I just basically went to sleep again. Like honestly, the first 48 hours, I was sleeping, but aware I had something going on with my tummy. That's what it was.
Okay. Um,
You want to go and then I'll finish it off.
yes. My first 48 hours, I was literally in the hospital the whole time. So the first night, overnight, I threw up like times because there was a tube in my nose, down my throat, into my stomach. So yeah, so I threw up a couple of times. I was very uncomfortable. They took out the tube within the 24 hours after surgery. After they took it out, started feeling a little better, and I just started walking. I was able to shower. I did my Fenty Skin routine. So I was just trying to get myself together, and I was able to watch Netflix and sleep. That was my first 48 hours, and then chew on some ice and a little bit of Jello and chamomile tea. That was pretty much
Nice.
it. Yeah.
Well, mine was so long ago, it's hard to remember. But I've actually never even said this. I had surgery the same day as a girl that I became friends with in the class. And so I had surgery first that day, and then she had it 2 hours after my surgery. So my whole goal the entire time was, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go visit Keisha. Like that was my whole plan. So right after surgery, I was in pain. I didn't know that I had it said it removed the 40-minute thing. So
Okay.
we're clear. Um, so I had a tube thing, a drain. Wow, Sam, who's had so many surgeries, can't even come up with a medical term. I had a drain and I had no idea that it was going to be there. So I like woke up and I was like, WTF, like, why do I have this? So that's kind of what I remember. And then I remember being sleepy, really sleepy. I remember I took a work call, probably 2 hours after I was in recovery. I don't remember the work call, but I know that I took it. And the next day when I woke up, I was super sore, but like I said, my goal was to walk over and see how she was doing. And I did, and I visited her. So it was kind of nice to have a friend, like literally a couple hospital rooms down, that had the same exact surgery. And she was freaking thriving. She didn't have a drain. She was like, I am so good. I'm ready to go home. And I was like, everything hurts and I want to die. Like I was a big baby and she was like this badass bitch. I was like, all right, well, I guess I will be that one for today. But yeah, that's really pretty much all I remember. I do remember being in pain though. I
Yeah.
don't like saying that, but you know.
Yeah, it's just awkwardness. It's just like awkwardness, and then you have your pain meds, and you know.
And the pain meds, you can't, I mean, they're like liquid and they taste disgusting. And so if you like have any sensitive, issues, texture issues, any of that, you take, I remember that. And I was like, no, children's Tylenol that tastes like grape, I'll take that. But that nasty crap you're going to give me, absolutely not.
Yeah, my medicine was injected. Yeah.
While at the hospital?
Yes.
Yeah. Same.
And then afterwards it was liquid, right?
No, they gave me the prescription. I had to go pick it up at a different location, and they gave me little tablets.
Oh, okay.
Dissolvable?
No, you just drink them like regular tablets.
Oh,
that's everybody's different. That's wild because
that's crazy.
Yeah, I was only just cleared to do that recently. So wow. I know it's so wild how like different everything is.
It is.
Yes.
I mean, I have a friend who did her surgery in Tijuana, and by the time she got out of surgery, we were both in Mexico around the same time, and she ended up being able to eat soup like the day after surgery. And I was just like, my diet is completely different. They give, our diets, the things that we're able to consume based on what our doctors told us, completely different, even though we got surgery around the same time. So
she was insane.
Yeah, she was on purees way before I was.
Huh.
Yeah, I know I heard people would have like soft food right after their surgery, and I'm just like, what?
How?
This is wild. I don't know. Wild.
Were you guys scared of I don't know who scared me of it, but like ripping your stitches inside? Like if you were to like consume too much liquid, too much food, whatever have you. I was so scared of doing that. I feel like that also got me sick, is because I was so scared that something was going to rip. I think it was like my class, in one of the classes, they were like, you have to be so careful. You have to chew 20 times, blah, 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 because this could rip in the incision. And like, that's all I focused on. And I was like, oh my God, it could rip. Like, that's so scary. So then I was kind of scared to drink or eat anything, honestly, because I didn't know when the time frame was when it healed. Nobody told me. Like, I mean, Bre knows I had no support afterwards. So I was just a little, like, I relied on my mom, who had gastric bypass surgery in 2002, which it was so different back then and then compared to now. So that's really the only resource that I had in the internet, but not this.
I know, it's so wild. That's so wild. Tell the world, when was the last time that you had a post-op appointment with your doctor?
Oh, I was about to say.
No, it's talking to me. Okay, so it was January 2019. So 4 months post-op.
That's wild. And then you never talked to them again?
No, my surgeon did retire while 30 days after I had my surgery. And then I was just pushed to his PA, which I liked him, but that was the only one that I was working with. And I kind of, after I got sick, they kind of like fixed me and then never followed up. Like it was crazy.
Wow. That's wild.
I know. I mean, I had like regular doctor's appointments because I had to go like the neurologist, and then I had to go every 2 days to get the B1 vitamin shot in my butt. But that was the only one that I had. I never ever visited that doctor anymore. So he has like no idea, even like he didn't see my success. Like I love when Bre visits her doctor, because I know that like they're all so proud of her, like seeing the success. Like I never had that kind of experience. Like I had my 4-month post-op and they're like, oh yeah, you look great. I'm like, well, do I? Because I just lost a whole bunch of weight because I was sick. I don't think that I look great. So it would be so fun to just like walk up in there like now, but like, what up? I feel fine now.
Oh, you guys were wondering how I was doing? Great.
Yeah, I'm fine now. Thanks.
I know. That's crazy.
I'm so glad you recovered though, because that's scary. That must have been very scary.
It was terrifying. But I mean, I'm like, my whole thing is if I go through it and I can turn it into a learning experience for this community, and I can't even, I've probably had about 6 messages from people that have said, I found your page because someone said that my symptoms sounded like beriberi. And I went through all of your videos and things like that. And like I said, I probably had 6 people tell me that. And I'm like, all right, if I can like turn my, you know, sorriness into education, I'll be totally fine with that. And the same thing goes for the plastic surgery and complications with that. Like if I can turn it into a learning experience for everybody else, I'll be the test dummy for y'all. I got you.
Mm-hmm. Period.
Period. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Do we have another question from our followers you want to ask?
Yes. Have you eaten anything that's made you super sick yet?
Yes. I'm going to take my glasses off for this one.
Oh.
Oh, getting serious.
So, soft foods. So I tried scrambled eggs, and my husband made them the way Chef Ramsay does it, and they come out so soft.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm in good hands. They're super duper soft. There's nothing extra in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I ate, it was just a little bit, like just you already know the portion you're supposed to have. It was really, really small amount. I ate. Not even 20 minutes later, I ended up in the bathroom. Like it sent me to the bathroom. The pain was so excruciating, the gas pains, all of it. You know, when you really have to go to the bathroom, you have like, I waited too long, you start having these pains.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. It was so bad. I ended up going to the bathroom, TMI, sat on the toilet, and it was just like me hoping that it would just come out and just waiting for it to come out. But the pain was still like intense. It was so bad I started praying and pleading with God and trying to have a conversation like, please have mercy on me. Like, please be merciful. Like, this is overwhelming. Trying to like negotiate and bargain. Like, what do you want me to do? Please stop this pain. I'll do whatever you want. Just let me go. Like, stop the pain. But yes, scrambled eggs. It just hit me really, really bad to the point that I'm grossed out by them now.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Understandable. Well, Jade, thank you so much for being with us today. And we've learned so much about you. You're so awesome and inspiring to watch. I love all your dance videos too, as a former dancer myself. You empower it, girl. Sis.
Yes.
Oh my God. I love it. The category today is Jade.
Yes.
Work.
That's right. That's right. And if you guys want to follow Jade, go to her Instagram, which is IamJadeBarrett_VSG. And you guys can also check her out on YouTube as well. Make sure you guys check out VS Girl Code. And yeah, thank you so much for being here today. Is there anything you want to add?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you, ladies, for having me. And I'm so grateful to be part of this community. And just, you guys, make sure you do your research. Make sure you communicate. Make sure you try to have a support system that'll help you through this journey. And just reach out to all of us and we'll be there for you. But make sure that you consult professionals first.
Amen.
Yes.
T.
That's right.
Yes.
Awesome.
We are not doctors.
No, we are not. Disclaimer. Awesome. Well, thank you again so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.